Back in college, I chased Goosey Eye for a long time until he finally said yes. We were together for 2 years when my family's business collapsed. My parents decided we would go abroad to start over. I couldn't bear to leave Goosey Eye and was willing to stay in the country for him. But then I overheard him telling his friend that he had never liked me at all. I left him a breakup message and left the country with my family. Years later, I saw him at a dinner party. He had become a rising star in business. Later, in the garden, he pushed me against the wall, eyes red with anger, and demanded, "Why did you leave without a word? Why did you just send a breakup text and disappear?" I never thought I would reunite with Goosey Eye like this 2 years later, when he was hanging on his arm in the middle of the banquet, and they looked like a perfect match. He seemed to sense my gaze and turned toward me. I quickly looked down and picked up a piece of strawberry cake. The familiar taste brought tears to my eyes. A long time ago, I loved strawberry cake. Goosey Eye would bring me one every week on our dates. Back then, I thought he loved me, and I was as happy as a child every day. 2 years apart, he had become a prominent businessman. The distance between us felt like an ocean. President Gu is so young and accomplished. You and Miss Wen dated all through college, right? Your relationship is really enviable. Bitterness welled up in my heart. They wouldn't even admit they had been together for 3 years. Someone else asked, "Didn't you date the young lady of the Bai family for 3 years?" When you smile gently, "Don't mention her in front of ACI. HES already being nice not to hate her. We were in the same school. If it weren't for her, ACI and I would have been together long ago." The person laughed awkwardly. "Looks like Miss Wen is his real destiny, and Miss Bai was just a bad romance." When you look triumphant. "Exactly. Enough. Stop talking," Goosey Eye said coldly. After hearing all that, I wanted some air. As I stood up, a waiter bumped into me, spilling red wine all over my dress. The glass shattered on the floor, drawing everyone's attention. "I'm so sorry. Miss, let me take you to change clothes." The waiter apologized hurriedly. From the corner of my eye, I saw Goosey Eye walking toward me. Panicked, I let the waiter lead me away. Only after leaving the scene did I let out a breath. After changing into another outfit, I went to the back garden and sat by a railing. My mind drifted back to freshman year. During military training, everyone talked about who was the most handsome, and all of them mentioned Goosey Eye. It acted unimpressed. Then I fainted from heat stroke. Before blacking out, I saw a blurry figure rushing toward me. When I woke up, I saw the handsome face of a young man, his cold voice soft with concern. My heart skipped a beat. I loved the affectionate peach-minus blossom eyes he looked at me with, even more than the faint scent of gardenias on him. So I chased him openly for 2 months, arranging chance encounters all over campus. On the day I confessed, the young man blushed and said yes. I knew I would never forget that moment. We spent 3 sweet years together, until the news came that my family had gone bankrupt. My parents decided to move abroad to rebuild, but I wanted to stay with Goosey Eye, so I went to find him. I heard he was at a cafe and planned to pour out my troubles to him. Instead, I heard this. His friend asked, "ACI, do you really like Miss Bai?" Without hesitation, Goosey Eye answered no. "Then why are you with her? The Bai family is rich. Besides, she chased me like a little dog for 2 months. Why would I say no?" Hearing that I was just a fool clinging to him, my heart ached bitterly. I stumbled out of the cafe, opened my WeChat chat with Goosey Eye, typed "let's break up," then deleted my account, threw away my SIM card, and boarded a plane abroad with my family. I only returned a week ago. Goosey Eye seemed to be doing well. When you had been the most popular girl on campus back then, pursued by many, I never thought they would end up together. The autumn wind was cool, and my mood gradually calmed down. "President Gu, Yuri in the back garden. I wondered where you went." A voice came from not far away. My heart jolted. I stood up and walked away. Hurried footsteps came from behind me. The next moment, a strong hand grabbed me. "Where are you running? Where else do you think you can go, Byran?" I recognized Goosey Eye's voice. My hanging heart finally dropped. Goosey Eye forced me to turn around. Up close, he still looked like the boy in my memory, but his youthfulness was gone, replaced by mature restraint. You sent one breakup text, deleted WeChat, turned off your phone, and left for foreign countries without a trace. Byron, how could you? I stayed silent. Goosey Eye stared at me intensely. My family went bankrupt. You must have found out. Goosey Eye's eyes flickered, and he laughed bitterly. So that's why you broke up and vanished. Oh, why didn't you tell me? Was I not even an option for you? I was about to speak when Yu's voice came from nearby. Hey, CI, what are you doing? Yu's eyes widened in surprise when she saw me. It's you, Byron. Seeing when you approaching. You see, I let go of my shoulder. When you smiled. Long time no see. Why did you suddenly disappear junior year? No news at all. Many people in the class were looking for you. I went abroad. I see. When you looked at my clothes in surprise, isn't this an old style from Yuan Li brand that was discontinued ages ago? Byron, you're still wearing something so out of date? I felt embarrassed. These clothes had once been the latest fashion, but had only worn them for a year before leaving. She was trying to embarrass me, but I no longer cared. I just like this style. When you gave an understanding look. Are you having financial trouble? ACI and I can help you. She slipped her arm through Goosey Eye's and took at this lie asked, right? ACI? Goosey Eye's eyes flickered with panic. He quietly pulled his arm away and said, if you need help, you can ask. I had long lowered my eyes. Hearing his reply, I lifted my head and smiled calmly. No need. Thank you for your kindness. I'm getting married soon. You're welcome to come. At those words, Goosey Eye froze completely. Ignoring his reaction, I walked past him and left. After my family went bankrupt, things didn't go well abroad. Once we fell on hard times, old relatives and friends drifted away. So I got a job as an assistant at a company. It only attended the banquet last night as a companion. Last night's meeting felt like a dream. Today, the company landed a big client. My colleagues were excitedly talking. Hey, do you know? The client coming today is a rising star in business. Self-made, really powerful. The one from Sir & Company? Yes, that's the one. I heard the company name has a story. They say the tycoon dated a girl in college. Then she disappeared. He searched everywhere but couldn't find her. Later he named his company Sir and thinking of Ran. My eyelids twitched. I had a bad feeling. Did he ever find her? No idea. But they're working on a big project, and our company is involved. That's why they're here to discuss cooperation. I was lost in thought when someone called my name. Sister Ta handed me a stack of documents. Xiao Bai, I'm busy. Sort these out and take them to reception room 307. Okay. I finished organizing the papers. Outside the door, I faintly heard Goosey Eye's voice. I think I need to consider this. I took a deep breath, pushed the door open, and placed the documents on the table. Goosey Eye stared at me sharply. What are you doing here? My supervisor looked curious. Xiao Bai, do you know President Gu? I kept my face calm. We've met a few times. Goosey Eye laughed in disbelief. Just met a few times? I ignored him, standing stiff as a statue with no reaction. Getting nothing from me, Goosey Eye said, President Yun. I'll sign the contract, but on one condition Byron will show me around the company so I can see if you're a reliable partner. My supervisor looked awkward. He could tell there was tension between us and didn't dare agree easily. Xiao Bai. What do you think? I didn't want to put my boss in a difficult position, so I agreed. I might as well clear things up with Goosey Eye. They discussed cooperation all afternoon. By the time it ended, I was already off work. I picked up my bag and hurried out, only to run into Goosey Eye and my supervisor. Goosey Eye blocked my way. Didn't you say you'd show me around? President Gu, it's after work. I have things to do. Gu Si knew me well and saw I was in a hurry. I'll drive you. I checked the time, almost 6. I finally agreed. Where to? City Central Hospital. Gu Si asked with concern. Are you sick? No. Sensing my coldness, he didn't ask further. At the hospital, I first got a meal. Gu Si wanted to order something expensive for me, but I refused. Near the ward I walked in. My mother was sitting on the bed, staring at the daffodils on the windowsill. She was thinking of my father again. Noticing someone, she turned and smiled when she saw me. Ran. You're here. Seeing Gu Si behind me, she asked, Who is this? I set down the food and answered before Gu Si could speak. A friend. Gu Si greeted her politely like a younger man. Hello, Auntie. I'm Gu Si. My mother happily invited him in, and Gu Si chatted with her naturally. The night wind was cool. Gu Si and I sat on chairs without saying a word. Finally, he broke the silence. I hope Auntie recovers soon, if you're willing. No need, I cut him off, turning to look at him. Once I would have been hurt and angry if he'd treated me like a joke. But after my family's bankruptcy, my father's death, and my mother's illness, that old life felt like nothing more than a small ripple. Now he was a hot name in business, and I was just an ordinary person. Besides, he had when you. It was better we had no more contact. I can take care of my mom now. After today, let's not see each other again. I didn't dare look at the hurt in his eyes and hurried away. My mother's hospital bills cost a fortune every month, so I started delivering food to make extra money. After working for hours, it was already 1 in the morning. I planned to finish one last order then go home. But luck was on my side. I fell off my scooter. Thankfully, the food was spilled. I called the customer to explain, but they yelled at me angrily, seeing the new bad review, plus the scrapes on my body. I called and held back my tears. Just then, a tissue was held out to me. It was Gu Si. I didn't know when HED arrived or how long HED been watching. I instinctively hid my hands behind my back. Don't hide them, he said, his voice choked, eyes red. Let me take you to clean your wounds. I still have to deliver the order. Gu Si, I had no choice against my stubborn look. Get in the car, I'll drive you. I hesitated. If he drove me, what would I do about my scooter? That would be a loss. No need, it's not far. Gu Si picked up my scooter first, sat on it, and gestured for me to get on the back. Come on, I'll drive. The customer lived on the first floor. When I delivered the food, they glanced strangely at Gu Si and whispered, delivering food in a suit now. Afterward, Gu Si, I wanted to take me to the hospital. I refused. A trip to the hospital would cost hundreds, more than I made all night. Besides, I didn't want to owe him anything, it would only tie us closer. Be good. Let's go to the hospital. No, they'll just put some medicine on. You'll get scars. I froze, remembering when I'd fallen before. Gu Si had comforted me gently and applied medicine. Back then it'd wind. I do it carefully. I don't want scars. They're ugly. Now, I pushed down the ache in my heart and said hoarsely, It doesn't matter. It's just a scar. Gu Si fell silent. Finally, he drove me to his place. I stood outside the door, refusing to go in. Gu Si had to bring the first aid kit outside to treat my wounds. This is the best ointment. It won't leave scars. He still remembered. Sorrow welled up in me. After treating my wounds, I wanted to leave. Gu Si said, come in for a while. No, when you will be upset. What does she have to do with this? Hearing that, I didn't expect Gu Si to be this cold to you, I said sarcastically. Gu Si, just your girlfriend. Gu Si realized why I wouldn't come in and quickly explained. I've never been with her. He went inside, took out a contract, and showed me his chat history with you on his phone. We're only cooperating as a cover. I really was with her. Look at the messages. The chats were indeed casual, with days or even weeks between replies. The contract clearly stated they wouldn't interfere in each other's private lives. But what did any of that have to do with me? Yet Goosey held me back, not letting me leave. I ran, you said you were getting married? But I checked you don't even have a boyfriend. I'm not lying. And show me photos of you too. We met on a blind date. We haven't taken any yet. Then call him. I want to talk to him. Goosey, I spoke through gritted teeth. It's 2 in the morning. Goosey, I's tone was sharp. As your fiancé, he should care enough to take your call at 2. In the end, I went inside. The house was decorated just like the small apartment it rented during college. I sat on the sofa. Goosey, I went into the kitchen. Before long, he came out holding a strawberry cake. He placed it on the table, stuck in a candle, and turned off the lights. Happy birthday. I only just realized it was my birthday. In the warm yellow light, Goosey's familiar face slowly merged with the boy in my memories. Tears unconsciously filled my eyes. All the grievances of these years poured out, and I cried loudly. Goosey, I panicked just like before at a loss, carefully wiping my tears with tissues. My boy had come back. It felt like I hugged him, breathing in the familiar scent of gardenias, and felt safe. Goosey stiffened slightly, then quickly hugged me back, patting my back gently to comfort me. Don't cry. It's all my fault. Ran. Don't cry. Ding! The doorbell rang, breaking the warm atmosphere. Goosey, I went to open the door. Who are you? I'm here to pick up Iran. I'm her fiancé. Haha. Zulin. Goosey, I froze. The light in his eyes dimmed. Zulin took me away. He was a gentleman. We'd gotten along well on a blind date, and neither of us wanted to go on more dates, so we agreed to pretend to be together. After my father died, my mother was afraid she might leave me alone in this world and hoped I would find someone to spend my life with. It messaged Zulin on a whim, never thinking he would actually come. Zulin was a good man. Everything with Goosey, last night would just be the best dream it had in years. Is he your ex-minus boyfriend? Zulin asked calmly, as if nothing was wrong. Yes. But don't worry. I won't have anything to do with him again. I believe you, Zulin replied softly. His trust made me ashamed. News of my return spread among classmates, and Ran, my old roommate, contacted me again. She was getting married and asked if I would be her bridesmaid. As we'd promised long ago, I agreed. On the wedding day, many old classmates came. We laughed and joked like before, as if nothing had changed, and Ran wore a wedding dress, tears in her eyes. Classmates gathered around her, teasing. And Ran is the first one to get married, back in our dorm 509. The double Ran duo, now one's married. Is the next one soon? He smiled. Yeah, soon. And Ran smiled with him. I shook my head gently. Ran, when you disappeared suddenly back then, he went crazy looking for you. You have no idea. He tried everything. He almost called the police. Later he went to your old villa, but it was empty. I hadn't expected that. And Ran didn't mention Goosey again. If you ever have troubles in the future, don't disappear without a word. Talk to us. I nodded lightly. I kept replaying her words in my head. Had he really been looking for me? But the conversation I'd heard in the cafe hadn't been fake. I felt confused. 3, 2, 1, and ran through the bouquet over her shoulder. Before I could react, it flew toward me. A slender, bony hand caught it. I turned around. It was Goosey. The host built up the mood. Congratulations to this gentleman for catching the bouquet. Marriage must be near. Is your girlfriend here, or will you take it there? No girlfriend, but I have someone I like, and I'm still pursuing her. With this lucky sign, I think you'll win her over soon. I just hope she doesn't marry someone else too quickly. As he spoke, Goosey looked straight at me. The whole room cheered. All right, and we wish this gentleman success, the host said. After the ceremony, everyone drank and celebrated. As someone who disappeared for years, I was naturally forced to drink a lot. I couldn't take it anymore and snuck up to the rooftop to cool off. Goosey. I found me and asked worriedly, "Why are you up here?" "I drank too much, just getting some air." "You'll catch cold." Goosey, I took off his coat and put it around me. I stared at the distant skyscrapers, their colorful lights lighting up the sky. The cool wind cleared my head. "What did you mean by what you said today?" "What do you think I meant?" Goosey, I asked, staring at me intensely. I took off the coat and handed it back. "It doesn't matter what you meant. I have a fiancé." Goosey, I didn't take it. His voice was hoarse, his gaze burning into me. "I only want to ask you one thing. Why did you send a breakup text and disappear?" He still asked why. I laughed sarcastically. "Why do you think? Because I didn't want to be a fool anymore." "Okay." Angry, I threw the coat at him, but he pulled me into a tight hug. Goosey, I's voice trembled. "It was like that, Ran. Listen to me. It was a truth minus or minus dare game. The rule was to say the opposite. It was all a lie. If you don't believe me, I can call someone to prove it." He let go of me and pulled out his phone to call. I stopped him. "Forget it. It's all in the past. Ran. About when you already made a statement. Look." Goosey, I looked at me carefully. One misunderstanding cleared, but it felt like we could never go back. "But I already agreed to marry Zulin. Let's just leave it like this." Goosey, I went still, his body rigid. The hand holding his phone fell limp. I called a bear to look anymore and turned to leave. This time, Goosey, I didn't stop me. But as I reached the door, his voice came from behind. "I ran. As long as you aren't married." "I won't give up. I don't want to lose you again." I paused, then kept walking. Back at my rental apartment, my phone lit up with an unknown number. "Hello, is this Ms. Bye. This is City Central Hospital." Hearing hospital, I had a terrible feeling. "Your mother has suffered a sudden critical illness. Please come to the hospital as soon as possible to pay the fees and sign the forms." I rushed downstairs, only to remember it was 3 in the morning. My apartment was in a remote area, and it would take forever to get a taxi. I frantically called Zulin, but he didn't answer. My ride minus hailing order went unaccomplished. I crouched down helplessly. Light appeared not far away, so bright I could barely open my eyes. A figure walked toward me. "What's wrong?" It was Goosey. I grabbed onto him like a lifeline, crying, Can you take me to City Central Hospital?" Goosey, I didn't hesitate. He drove me there as fast as he could, comforting me along the way. But I could barely listen. If my mom left me, I would be completely alone in this world. At the hospital, I went to the front desk to pay, only to find I didn't have enough money. Goosey, I told the nurse to charge his card directly. I didn't refuse. My mother was more important. After signing the forms, the surgery finally began. I relaxed a little. The hospital was quiet in the early morning. Goosey, I stayed quietly by my side the whole time. Only then did I remember to thank him. "Thank you. I'll pay you back as soon as I can. Thank you so much for today." Goosey, I hated my formal gratitude and cut me off. "Don't thank me. I'll always be here when you need me." There was hope in his eyes. I looked away and said nothing, but his gaze reminded me of our first date. Back then, Goosey, I had planned it. He said mysteriously he had a surprise. We went to a popular tourist town, famous for its sunrise. There was a legend that couples who watched the sunrise together would stay together forever. Goosey, I had believed it. He dragged me out to climb the mountain. There were many couples that day. Clearly many people believed the legend. I ran out of energy halfway up. Goosey, I carried me the rest of the way. Lying on his broad back, I asked, "If I didn't climb it myself, will the legend not work for us?" "Goosey," I said, "as long as we walk this road together, a boyfriend should be a reliable shoulder for his girlfriend." When we reached the top, the sky was beginning to light up. Goosey, I carried me to the front. The sunrise breaking through the mist was breathtaking, just like now. Goosey, I looked at me with hope and said, Ran, we did it. We'll be together forever. Now we were apart, but he still became my support when I needed him most. Coming back to my senses, it felt like a distant dream. We waited until nearly morning. The surgery finally ended and the doctor announced it was successful. I let out a huge sigh of relief. Watching my mother sleep peacefully, I finally cowed and fight the tiredness and fell asleep at her bedside. When I woke up, I was in another hospital bed. My mother was awake, chatting happily with Goosey Eye about something. I unlocked my phone. Zulin had sent several messages. Ran, did something urgent happen? Reply to me. I'm worried. It's okay now. My phone vibrated. Zulin replied instantly. That's good. Tell me if anything happens. I put down my phone. Maybe I should give it a second thought. Over the next few days, Goosey I helped take care of my mother. Then on Friday, he didn't show up. I felt a little empty. I thought about messaging him, then told myself maybe He'd finally given up. A text popped up. Goosey I got into a fight. HES at Bayview Private Hospital. Goosey I had beaten Zulin. It turned out Goosey I had left a meeting at a restaurant and seen Zulin. Naturally, Hed paid close attention to his rival. He sat at the next table and heard their conversation. When are you marrying that Byron? Then your family will stop nagging you. Soon, you'll propose in a while. You won't fall for her, will you? The man across from him asked suspiciously. Zulin assured him of course not. I only love you. She's just a cover to stop my family from pressuring me. Good. Ice cream broke out. Goosey Eye's eyes turned red. He punched Zulin violently. Outside the ward, when you scolded and warned me. Byron, can you stop bothering ACI? If it weren't for you, he would be in the hospital. You disappeared so easily before. Why won't you vanish now that ACI is successful? When you grew more agitated. Byron, if you can't help ACI, don't ruin his life, okay? Her voice was loud. Everyone nearby could hear. Disdainful looks fell on me. What right do you have to question me? Who are you to him? When he was about to speak when I cut her off, Goosey I said he made a statement. You were only in a contractual partnership. You couldn't interfere in each other's lives. Now that the contract is over, you aren't even partners. So what right do you have to blame me? When US face turned ugly, the stares around her embarrassed her. Soon her eyes reddened, and she begged pitifully. I ran. Even though ACI and I were just partners, I really love him. Please, give him to me. But didn't you say you hated him before? When you froze. That was a long time ago. I said nothing. The curtain opened when you stiffened and turned around. Miss Wen, please leave. I have nothing to do with you. After when you left, I looked at Goosey Eye with concern. That was impulsive. It could hurt your company. Goosey Eye looked at me intensely. Do you know what my company is called? I remembered what my colleagues had said. Surian? My heart raced as I said it. Obviously, the name was to miss me. If I didn't beat someone who insulted you, even for my company, I would regret it my whole life. That was why I named it anyway. So, I've been thinking of you all these years. Ran, will you be with me? As Goosey Eye spoke, his eyes were filled with nervousness and hope. Afraid of even the slightest refusal from me. Looking at his anxious face, my nose stung. Tears fell uncontrollably. Goosey Eye hugged me, his warm hand patting my back skillfully. I couldn't see his face, but I knew this embrace felt safe. I promise, I whispered close to his ear. I felt Goosey Eye freeze for a moment, then hold me tightly, like a child who found something lost. Hey, I patted his back, signaling him to let go. This time, joy shone in his every expression. In that moment, no amount of past hardships could stand between us. As long as it's you in the end. That's enough. After my mother recovered and was discharged, Goosey Eye couldn't wait to arrange a meeting between our parents. His mother and father were kind people and treated me well. After we got engaged, Goosey Eye immediately moved me in with him, saying he couldn't rest easy without seeing me every day. Later I found out the private hospital we'd gone to was also named after me. Bayview Private Hospital. Time passed quietly. Soon it was the new year. After our New Year's Eve dinner, Goosey and I snuck out. It was snowing in the capital. Cold. I rubbed my hands unconsciously. The next moment, warm hands wrapped around mine. I looked up and fell into a pair of deep, charming peach-minus blossom eyes. Just like that hot summer day when I'd woken up and seen them. Now it was cold winter, but it was still him. I felt Goosey lean closer. The scent of gardenias surrounded me. I closed my eyes. Warmth touched my lips. Our breaths tangled. Tiny snowflakes drifted through the night. The bitter wind chilled people to the bone, but in that cold winter we held each other tightly and kissed deeply. Even the fierce wind seemed to bless us. Bonus Goosey asked perspective. I noticed a girl on the first day of school. Later, I found out her name was Byran. A beautiful name. Every time I saw her after that, I wanted to talk to her, but I never had the courage. Once I heard her talking about me with her classmates. My heart raced. I wanted to know what she thought of me, but I heard her say she didn't think I was good minus looking. My heart sank. Still, wherever she was, my eyes automatically followed her. It was a hot day. From the corner of my eye, saw her swaying. I kept watching her. When she fell backward, my body moved before my brain could think. The instructor told me to go back to my team, but I didn't want to. Finally, he let me take her to the infirmary. I carried her. She was lighter than I expected. Soft in my arms. I could smell a faint fragrance on her. I loved it. When she woke up from heat stroke, she stared at me blankly. I asked her with concern. After we met, I started accidentally running into her all over campus. My roommates teased that it saved a beauty during military training and won her heart. I was happy, but also worried she only liked me because it helped her. She was a rich girl, and I was just an ordinary guy. But when she confessed to me, I knew I couldn't say no, even if she was just playing around. I would have agreed. Yet as we spent time together, I realized she was serious. To be good enough for her, I worked harder than ever. I learned to make her favorite strawberry cake by hand. I took her to the library on weekends and picked her up after class. For our first date, she let me plan everything. I was terrified I'd mess it up. I stayed up all night researching online and finally chose a popular tourist town. Besides being beautiful, the town had a legend couples who climbed the mountain and watched the sunrise together would stay together forever. It was known to work because the hike was tough, starting at 4. Many couples argued over it. Halfway up, Ramran was exhausted. My heart ached, but I really wanted to watch the sunrise with her. I carried her the rest of the way. She asked if the legend wouldn't count because she didn't climb on her own. I told her as long as we walked the road together, it would work. I wanted to carry the hardships for her. She just had to stay by my side. We watched the sunrise together. I believed we would be together forever. Good times always end soon. One day, she sent me a message that stabbed my heart. I messaged her crazily, only to find she'd deleted her WeChat. Everything had been fine yesterday. I called her, but the number was disconnected. She was gone from school. No one who knew her had any idea where she went. I went to her family's villa, but it was empty. She vanished like she'd never existed. It made those 3 sweet years feel like a dream. Later, I found out her family had gone bankrupt and fled abroad. I was terrified she was hungry or cold, but I was powerless then, unable to give her a good life. So I worked like crazy to build my business. Once I was successful, I searched for her everywhere. But the world was too big. Years passed. When you approached me to be her fake boyfriend, I agreed. If I'd known it would push Ran further away, I never would have said yes. At a dinner party, there was a commotion. I glanced over and saw the girl I'd missed so badly. I abandoned my meeting and rushed toward her, but the room was too crowded. I watched her disappear into the crowd. I found out she'd gone to the garden. When I saw her there, I was about to walk over when someone called my name. She started walking away again. I chased after her in a panic. The closer I got, the more certain I was it was her. But why was she running? I felt wronged. I grabbed her and demanded answers. When she turned around, my heart broke. She was even thinner than before, her delicate face worn down. Then when you arrived, I didn't listen to their conversation. All I heard was Ran saying she needed help. I agreed. But she said she was getting married. My mind went blank. A dull pain spread through my chest. Her smile hurt. She left without looking back. And I lost the courage to say anything. Maybe heaven heard my prayers. I saw her again. When someone asked if we knew each other, I waited eagerly for her answer. But she said we'd only met a few times. I laughed in anger, so I agreed to the contract. On the condition that she show me around. After the meeting, I saw her hurrying away. Did she really not want to see me? I stopped her. She said she was in a hurry. I could tell, so I offered to drive her. She agreed. I thought it was a good chance to talk, but she was cold. Sorrow filled me. I stayed quiet. I still had time. And it checked her so Mina's called fiancé didn't exist. I thought she was sick when we went to the hospital. Then I realized she was visiting her mother. It was my first time meeting her mom after all these years. I was nervous, but we got along well. She took me somewhere, and we sat silently, just like old times. I didn't want her to struggle so much, but I was cut off as soon as I spoke. Then she said we shouldn't see each other again after that day. She left without hesitation. I sat there alone for a long time, but I still couldn't give up. So I followed her. I watched her deliver food until 1 in the morning to make money. I wanted to help, but I was afraid she'd send me away. Then she fell off her scooter. I couldn't hold back anymore. When I saw her crying, my heart ached. I wanted to hug her, but I was scared she'd hate me. So I handed her a tissue. I offered to take her to the hospital, but she refused. She insisted on delivering the food. I offered to doctor her. She didn't argue. In the end, I rode her scooter with her on the back. After the delivery, I insisted on taking her to my place. She stubbornly refused to go inside. For her wounds, I treated her outside the door. She used to care so much about her looks. I couldn't let her have scars. I still wanted her to come in. It was her birthday, and it made her favorite strawberry cake, but she said she was worried about upsetting I realized my mistake and explained quickly. She still used that fake fiancé as an excuse. Eventually, she came inside. When I brought out the cake, she cried. I panicked, not knowing what had done wrong. I comforted her like I used to. This time, she hugged me first. I was overjoyed. Then the doorbell rang. I opened the door. A man stood there, saying he was Byron's fiancé. I hadn't thought it was real. In the end, I could only watch him take her away. The huge living room was empty again. The candle was still burning. The cake untouched. The birthday song I hadn't gotten to sing hung in the air. I drifted through days. An old classmate invited me to a wedding and told me not to give up. That he would be there. Missing her beat fear. I went, and I saw her. I stood quietly behind her, just looking at her. The bouquet flew toward us. I caught it. I had hope again. I watched her quietly. When she went to the rooftop lawn, I followed. She sat there alone, looking fragile. I was afraid she'd be cold and put my coat around her. She didn't reject it. I thought I still had a chance. But she brought up her fiancé again. It hurt. Finally, I asked the question I'd been dying to know. Why did you break up? She told me sarcastically she didn't want to be a fool anymore. I finally understood. I held her tightly and explained. When she believed me, I thought the misunderstanding was over, that we wouldn't miss each other again. But she said she'd already promised someone else. I wouldn't give up, even if it made me the other man. I followed her again. Just being close made me feel like I wouldn't lose her. I was resting when I thought I heard her crying. I turned on my headlights. I walked toward her. And she saw me. It was the first time she begged me for something to take her to the hospital. I knew something was wrong with her, Mom. I drove as fast as I could. At the hospital, I stayed by her side the whole time, fixing everything for her. Still, she thanked me formally, saying she'd pay me back. I wanted to say, I just want to be here for you. After her mom was out of danger, she fell asleep. I held her again. I kissed her forehead softly, afraid she'd wake up. She didn't push me away. I visited her mom every day. I was supposed to go to the hospital after my meeting, but I saw Zulin outside the restaurant. As my rival, I watched him closely. I sat nearby and heard their disgusting plan using her as a cover for their relationship. I snapped. I rushed over and beat him violently. Soon Zulin and his partner fought back, but I won. I lay in my own hospital bed. I heard the argument outside. When Winnie blamed her, I wanted to rush out, but she defended herself. After when you left, she cared about me for the first time, worried about my company. I knew this was my chance. This time, I would confess. When I finished, she cried. I thought she'd rejected me, but I comforted her anyway. I was ready to try again my whole life. Then she hugged me, and she said yes. My cold heart came alive again. At that moment, I believed the legend. The two who watched the sunrise together would be together forever.